Sultan's Sanctuary is an action RPG about being a guy with a weapon and being absolutely defenseless. It's a game about dying to horses with swords, witches, horses that are narwhals, witches, pieces of driftwood, witches, gravity, a giant fart monster, freaking sentient jello. There's a lot of stuff that's trying to kill you all the time, and you know what? I love it. In any game, the most important element of the experience is the gameplay itself. That's the unique lever that makes games, well, games. In Sodium and Spaces, the gameplay is centered around a combat system. I mean, the entire premise of the game is being a little dude with a weapon, swinging it within the general proximity of the angry people, and dying. The combat system of this game isn't revolutionary, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Heavy attacks feel heavy and require commitment on the wager of doing more damage. Light attacks are fast and require less commitment, and have the added benefit of letting your sphincter relax from the endless onslaught of ball torture the game throws at you at every curve. The game is not reaching to innovate on the formula, but plays safely within the genre, doing something they know will work. So here's the question. What takes this decently good, predictable combat system and makes it shine?
This is where I would pay attention, because I'm about to say some shit that's going to blow your mind.
Point 1, enemy design and gameplay.
There are so many goddamn enemies! And it's not like Dark Souls 2, where they made 2 smelter demons and said, oh look, we heard you like bosses. Here's 2 bosses. No, Dark Souls. That's 1 boss and a copy-paste mistake.
You filthy rat!
These are different bad guys with different hurdy sticks and have different pain patterns to truly unleash your inner masochist as you spend the first 20 seconds of every encounter registering that you got hit by some ancient gothic bullshit from that wolf-bear-horse hybrid, and then not even 20 seconds later are dodging some flying witch wannabe firing homing lasers at you, all while also trying to dodge a greatsword, half the screen long, wielded by an arachnid pyramid head. It's amazing! And it's not like I'm just picking the one snippet I liked either. Each biome has a mix of recurring regular bad guys and its own unique monsters. This mix always ensures that the player is confident enough to keep progressing through the game while also challenging the player to overcome new puzzles. When you take this relatively simple gameplay loop of heavy attack, light attack, roll, and entangle it with the variety of enemies that the developers have created, you all of a sudden are posed with encounters that are very complex puzzles to solve. As you get better at the game, they keep the difficulty relevant by layering in more puzzles for you to solve at once. This is the critical success that Ska had when developing this game. They didn't overcomplicate the tools at the player's disposal, but rather made the game gradually more complex by introducing more enemies with varied offensive patterns. When you have 12 layers of bullshit flying directly at you at Mach 10, you want your players to feel capable of overcoming those obstacles rather than getting frustrated that they mispressed a button on their 12-button combo of their fat cock slash attack. By having this variety of unique encounters, the dev team has placed additional emphasis on triumph during the mid-game. When you beat a really challenging non-boss encounter, it feels just as good as overcoming a challenging boss.
Oh, I killed one! I did it! I did it! Victory!
This means that your gameplay experience is consistently rewarding throughout the entirety of the game. So congratulations, Ska Studios. Slap in your gold finger on your iTunes and go have a great old time beating up the bad guys. But wait, I have a question. What's my reward for beating up all these bad guys? It's almost like I'm setting us up for a...
Point 2, character progression.
Character progression screens in games, they look like this. It's like 3 generic trees. Usually there's a shooty one, a sneaky one, and a fighty one. Ska Studios said, fuck that. This is how you do a talent tree. Wha-bam! Holy shit! Look at all those choices. Ska tied weapon choice into your talent tree, which means that early in the game, the player gets to decide what kind of character they're going to be. Are you going to be a sword guy, or a hammer guy, or a magic guy, or a shit player? For example, I played with great hammers, and as you progress through the game, you may find a great hammer that's a tier 3 great hammer, but currently you can only wield tier 2 great hammers. Sultan's Sanctuary has taken a binary approach. You either have the points that let you use the Omega Dong Slapinator 5000, or you don't. And if you don't, the player now has a new goal. There's an excitement to leveling up because I'm one step closer to my cool new weapon. And then I get to go play Splat in the Hat with that horsecraft OTK Witch of the Lake out there, out of boundings herself, so I literally cannot fight back. It is the melding of the gameplay, enemies, and progression system that makes Sailing and Shelter a standout experience amongst RPGs. But it's not all rainbows and nipple tassels for old SNS. The game has some glaring errors that need to be fixed before the sequel is released, Salt and Sacrifice, which is coming out sometime in 2022.
The bad stuff!
This is a warning. There are spoilers ahead. If you do not want to be spoiled for the game, go to the timestamp on the screen. Thank you. Salt and Sanctuary does not relay a clear narrative to the player. When you start the game, you're on a boat. You go to the right because it's literally the only thing to do. And then there's a guy who's like, oh my god, we're under attack. Bleh. And then all of a sudden you're getting attacked. You suck like me, and then you get like splatteronied by the second bad guy because we're all terrible. And then you wake up on a beach. Once again, no other option other than to walk right. Okay, so you keep going right. You see a random fortress. Okay, so you find a big bad guy at the top of the fortress. Okay, you keep going right for like the next hour. Okay, and then the game introduces you to a random scarecrow. And you go, oh man, this contextualizes why I've been going right so much, right? You're kind of scary. That's why they call you a scarecrow. He keeps popping up over and over again, and each time you meet him, her, they, I don't know. Each time you meet it amasses more and more corpses behind it. It is the intended antagonist of the game. So then you get to the final level. You've walked right more hard than you could have ever imagined. You have bested the endless scarecrow legions of the right side of the screen. You arrive at the final level, which shifts the usual color palette to a monochromatic one. The music is this harpsichord rendition of the main soundtrack. The developers have set the stage for your final battle versus the Wizard of Oz reject. You descend to the boss room. And behold, who is this guy? The last boss fight is just some random guy, which obviously you weren't going to fight a scarecrow, right? But there's no context for the scarecrow. It might as well have just not existed. All this stupid buildup, this great orchestration, just to resolve in me beating the dog piss out of Dave from accounting. That's the other thing. This is the last boss in a hard game about losing a lot. So why did I win so fast? I don't play this game to feel powerful and confused. I play this game to feel bewildered and powerless. And don't tell me that my build had just finally scaled, because not even 10 minutes ago, this is what was happening to me. By not having a clear conflict resolution with the main bad guy, it makes everything feel pointless. Why did I keep going right? Why was I put on a boat? Why were any of the other bosses relevant? Why the fuck did you put a stupid narwhal horse in the valley to impale me over and over again? All gripes aside, Sodium Chloride in Sanctuary Chloride offers a complete gameplay experience with a few minor story hiccups. It's absolutely astonishing what the two-man team over at Ska has accomplished, because they produced a game that many larger studios could only hope to pull off. If I was to put a price tag on this game, I would say it's easily worth $40, which makes the value of this game even more staggering because it's only $18 on Steam. I was absolutely captivated by this game from beginning to end, and I'm so excited for the 2022 release of Salt and Sacrifice. I repeat, to you, person watching this video, this is a fun game. Please go buy it. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, support your local garbage man. That's me. And hit the like and subscribe, and make sure to check out the videos above. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next one.